This is Kugan Cassius for iFLTV. We're at lunch here for Gareth Davies' book.
We're here today to announce Gareth Davies' book launch. Don't forget, it's a great book. You'll enjoy it.
The second news is that there was a huge broadcast deal that got announced last night, which is why we're really here. Gareth's been threatening this book all day, and we haven't seen it yet. All right, Gareth, how you doing, mate? Oh, look, he's going to come. Come on, quick. Let's get this out of the way. It's not about Dazn and Queensberry, it's about your book.
Oh, stop it.
It's about
They can't see you, by the
It's
way,
very
Gareth.
kind of
Hold
you
on.
to pay for this lunch to launch your book.
I'm very happy to pay for the lunch if you want me to. It's not a problem.
I know that.
It's really not a
They
problem.
can't see you, by the way.
I brought the book along today with Sonia, who's getting one out for you right now.
What about the book?
It's to bring it to you because we're very proud of the book, and you're in it.
I am.
And you're in it.
I am, yeah.
And the photographs are amazing of you, and they're all iconic. And I do hope you like the book. But I'm going to let you do this interview with Kugan. Then you can go with Charlie Parsons of Instagram and TikTok fame, the Stomping Grounds, and then I'll do my moment with you presenting the book. Thank you for a lovely lunch. Congratulations on your deal with Dazn, by the way.
Thank you, man. Glad
Onwards
to see
and
you're
upwards.
So positive. That's
Onwards
good.
and upwards. No, it's a really perfect timing, is my view. Perfect timing.
Thank you, Gareth. Wonderful cameo from the esteemed journalist Gareth A. Davies. Frank, huge news announced yesterday with your broadcast deal, global broadcast deal with Dazn now. How long has this been in the pipeline?
Well, our contracts, we had a negotiation period with TNT on our contracts, which we obviously exercised, and then simultaneously there was talks going on, or not simultaneously, afterwards, talks going on with Dazn, and we've reached an agreement which we're highly delighted to have achieved, because it's going to be something special for the future.
Frank, you've not shared a platform with any other promoter since your Sky days, which has been 12, 13 years ago. You've obviously, since the days of Box Nation and BT and obviously TNT, you've been solely aligned with a broadcaster. But now obviously this link up with Dazn involves other broadcasters, notably Matchroom. How's this going to work for you in the same way?
It's going to work great for us. We got our dates, and we're pleased with our dates. We have a great roster of fighters, some of the best fighters. I think we've got the best roster of fighters in the world of boxing, and the fact that Eddie with Matchroom and Oscar with Golden Boy means that we can make some good fights, I hope, between all of us, like we've been doing during the Riyadh season. How it's worked out, and also in the UK. I think it's a plus for everybody.
I was obviously sat there with a few questions from the written press there, and I do want to address, there was some kind of what looked to be agenda-driven questions towards the link-up, which you, Alfie Sharman and your boy George, answered accordingly. But I mean, look, this is a good move for yourselves, and it's a positive move for boxing. But you're still going to kind of get this kind of negativity around it.
There's always negativity around everything, and that's how it is. The fact of the matter is, the proof will be, as I say, in the pudding and the fights that take place. We have in 2025, and our deal starts on the 1st of April, we have a great roster of fights planned. We've still got some great fights coming up on TNT. But as far as this is concerned, in the press conference today, from April onwards, look at the fighters that we have on our books and look at the matches that have been made. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for us, and this is, for me, is the way forward. We're getting extra dates than we're doing now, and we'll be broadening our horizons as far as the world's concerned.
Frank, I'm not sure this is a question for you, or you can make comment on this. After April 2025, where do you believe this leaves TNT in terms of where they are boxing-wise?
I don't know. I think you've got to ask them that question themselves.
But do you believe they'll carry on in boxing in some capacity?
I have no idea. That's going to be their choice, and they'll do what they've got to do. I can only focus on, and George can only focus on, what Queensberry do. And, we can't undo what we've done. We're happy where we are. In the past, when Eddie and I were were locking horns of Matchroom or Queensberry. You know, we referred to this as an app, which we did. But the facts of the matter is there's been such a significant change managerial level over the last 18 months in the direction. And I've looked at it. I've seen Riyadh Season have signed with them. They're doing their show. Lots of show, a lot of their sport were going on it. And for me, it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer. And you know, I am unique. I've dealt with every single broadcaster who's been involved in boxing in the UK. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. And most of them we started from scratch. ITV, no domestic boxing. Setanta, no big shows. BT, no boxing whatsoever. And we turned it into a success story. And I believe with what we got and with our experience and moving forward, I think we're in a really good place. I like the attitude of everybody involved. Some of the new additions to their team at management level, who've worked in the industry for years, who I respect, and Shalom, who's I've had a few lunches with, a few dinners with, and breakfasts with, meetings. He is a very successful businessman. He told me his vision for where we're going, and I'm on board with it, and I'm on board with it big time. I know George, my son, who's our CEO, who's a little bit more savvy than I am. He's all over this. This is going to be great. It's going to be great, a great situation. Globally, it's opening up in a big way, and that's what we're in a market that's shrinking and shrinking, but globally, it's opening up. And it's just going to be brilliant for us. And looking at boxing, what a success story boxing certainly for us has been since we really focusing on developing what we were doing in the UK, how successful that story has been, certainly in the heavyweight division and a few of the other divisions. This we now translate into even bigger story as far as the world's concerned.
Frank, you mentioned those previous comments, and you did a lot of those on our interviews in reference to Dazn being the app. But aside from kind of where Dazn was then, but you and Eddie were kind of having a war of words then back then as well. It had a lot to do with it as well.
But also, the most irrelevant point is where they were then and where they are now. And where they are now is a different place. And as I said, some of the management that are there now and some of the guys that have come on board, and I'm not going to go through all their names, but I mean, they're serious people and respected people in the world of broadcasting. And I genuinely believe between us, and when I say between us, I'm including Matchroom, I'm including Oscar, with what we do and what we've got there, between all of us, this is going to be a great story. And I'm sure other promoters will get on board. I really do believe that. This is going to be something special. We've had some special moments over the last few years. Certainly last year has been brilliant, and it will get stronger and stronger, and it can only be good for boxing.
Frank, you mentioned other promoters there. Do you think, and again, it's probably not a question for you, but I'll ask you anyway, it's probably more a question for Alfie Sharman. With obviously Queensberry and Matchroom under the same banner of Dazn now, could there be a play to possibly make all the major promoters in the UK under Dazn? Could that be a play from Dazn?
I don't know. You've got to ask Dazn. I don't know who the major players are. I mean, there's only I don't know who the.
Well, if I'm saying subjectively, it would be obviously yourself, Eddie, and then and Ben Shalom with Sky. They'd be the main three, wouldn't they? Calasal in there as well.
Well, he's there with the Misfits, isn't he? Which I know isn't boxing, or what I would call boxing, but he's there. As regarding Ben Shalom, I've got no idea. He's got a contract with Sky. Who knows?
I didn't know whether that was a future plan, but probably, again, not a question for you, probably a question for Al.
It's not a question for me, and I don't know how you define major promoters anyway.
Has that situation calmed down now, since with kind of, again, the situation from Riyadh, the situation from London, involving Ben Shalom, is it all calmed down now?
I don't think about it. I mean, the only people bring it up is when with yourself and other interviewers. I don't even think about it. It's irrelevant to me. It is an irrelevance.
Frank.
All I know is what we do. That's what I focus on. That's what people seem to forget. We focus on what we do, and what we do is successful. You know, We develop our fighters, bring them through, we put them in meaningful fights. We had a good show on Saturday, a really good show on Saturday. Matchman got one back out of the whatever we got against them, but they got one back in a fight that was a really entertaining fight.
Frank, one thing obviously that you're quite used to having, obviously with your with TNT and BT Sport, was the pushes from the following, from the football, etc., which kind of lead into shows which help kind of with viewing figures and people tuning into that. This is going to be different slightly now with not having that in terms of kind of the UK football not being on Dazn, if you like.
That's a very, very relevant point, and we will see. So we've got to really work double hard to make sure from where we're sitting and what we're doing, that we get out there and do what we should do as promoters. Go out and promote the fucking arse off it. That's what our job is. That's what promoters do. That's what we got to do. That's what old promoters done. That's what they did. And you go back, and I can say it, going back to the days when we broke through and fought to get live boxing on ITV, when everybody was trying to stop us from doing that. We got the live boxing. People were saying at that time, how is this going to work and so on. But we didn't have no live football to go through. There was no live football back then. So you've got to get out and you've got to promote. That's why we're called promoters. You don't just go and, oh, I've done a deal with TV. This is my date on the 1st of February. This is what I'm putting on, and get on with it. You get out there and you promote and you bang the drum and you sell the fight and you sell the fighters and bring it to the public's attention. And what you've got to do with some of these newspapers, and listen to some of the stuff today at the press conference, you've got to go out there and you've got to say, come on, listen, I'm 72, live in when we're going to be in 2025. This is what it is. This is what the market is. This is what happens. This is how people are consuming their TV or their sport or whatever they want to watch. You know, gone are the days where Coronation Street, 25 million people watched it. It's now down to 3 million. You go out and promote the bloody thing. That's where we are. And that's our job as promoters to do. And when I look at, you know, this year, for example, the big fight at Wembley, look at some of the Riyadh fights, some of the, you know, the 5v5s, the shows we've done over there, the Magnificent Sevens and whatever. They've been success stories, and that is what we got to build and work on.
I don't know if you can answer this or not, but the difference in pay-per-view numbers when you've all cross-broadcasted events, the Saudi Riyadh season events, how different or out have been, say, a TNT to a Dazn? What, like in difference of numbers either way? Have they been a lot different pay-per-views? Yeah.
Well, it's been split, hasn't it? It's not been that. It's also been Sky, so it's been split up between all of them. You know, it's what it is. If you've got the event, the people will watch it, and it's as simple as that. I mean, let's look at it this way. If Usyk versus Tyson was on one pay-per-view channel, people will find it. If you've got the fight, a fight can only go on pay-per-view if it's worth pay-per-view, and they'll find it.
Right, Frank, just a quick couple of things before I let you go. I know you've made comments over the weekend, kind of almost now ruling out that Aj-Dubois rematch for February. You're looking at other options for Daniel Dubois. Where are we with that?
Well, we are looking. That fight doesn't look like it's going to happen, so we've got a couple of things that we're working on. There's a couple of opportunities, and a quite interesting one came up late last week, and we're looking at and considering that, and we'll make a decision fairly soon.
How many people generally in the running to fight Daniel Dubois come February?
Everybody wants to fight him, don't they? He's a big name, and they want to get a few quid to fight him. Lots of them. And a lot of them are avoiding him, by the way, as well.
Well, unless they're getting paid, I don't blame them, Frank. But in terms of Aj-Dubois, is that completely dead in the water for February?
Unless he came back to us in the next 48 hours and said it's on, yes.
You did make some comments regarding a potential possible injury situation. Can you elaborate on that anymore?
Well, I was told that he has an injury. So if he's got an injury, he can't fight.
When do you look to make an announcement regarding that February show?
I'd like to make an announcement tomorrow, if possible. But excuse me, but I don't think we'd be doing anything, at least for the next week. Turkey
said this, and Eddie Hearn said this is going to be the best card come February. Is that still the case, minus an Aj-Dubois?
You're going to love it. You're going to love it. I promise you. Everybody's going to love it.
Looking for another 10-0? Looking for another 10-0?
It won't be a 5v5.
Right. Okay.
That's going to be pushed back, but it's going to be a great card.
Okay. That's interesting.
I'm looking forward to the 5v5, especially now we're all under the same umbrella. It's going to be easy. I mean, we can do them in Riyadh, where they originated from, or we might do one here, who knows? But and you can do them at different levels now. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, in some ways, this, for an old bastard like me, this what's happened in the last year has been quite a revelation. It's been quite good, and it's been brilliant for boxing, and brilliant for everybody who wants to watch boxing. It's been fantastic, and I think it's going to get better and better.
Very last one, obviously December 21st. We had the press conference in London recently. This is all steam ahead. This is going to approach very quickly, 7 weeks away, and Tyson's is ready already.
Tyson's up for this. He's training at the moment. He's in Malta. He's in training camp, and he's looking and sounding brilliant. I mean, you know, I think you're going to get a vintage Tyson Fury. I really do. I have total belief in what he can do.
What do you think about him saying he'll never fight for the IBF again?
I can see why don't he put me in the top 15? I don't get that. It's crazy.
Yeah, odd that, to be fair.
Very odd, but listen, it is what it is. At the end of the day, he's fighting for Tyson Fury, and that's the business he's in.
December 21st in Riyadh. Frank Warren, thank you very much for a wonderful day today in London. Thank you. The food here at Milo's is wonderful. The prawns are the biggest things I've ever seen in my life. Literally, probably you as well.
Yeah, it was great food, and more importantly, I'm looking forward. We've got some great shows coming up on TNT, and I'm looking forward to April, and you're gonna love what we're putting together.
I look forward to it, and a special thanks to Gareth A. Davis for paying the bill here today as well.
Oh, hats off to Gareth. I mean, you know, he's picking up the bit. Where's he gone?
Gareth!
He's run out. He's run out of the bill.
Frank said thank you for paying the bill. No, you paid it, not us, so it's all good. Frank Warren, thank you very much, and we'll definitely catch up with you again soon.
Pleasure, man. God bless.